Hi there, Dr. Bob Flower, and this is Monday, February 11th, 2013, your master pattern report. All right, major announcement here. We have decided to change the format of the master pattern. What we're going to do is the master pattern will still be broadcast. However, it'll be on a less frequent basis. We're going to be doing this on a somewhat of a monthly schedule, and in that respect, it'll be the same as you've been viewing for the past 6 years. What we are going to do in its place on a weekly basis is something that we call the Achievement Forum. Now, here's why we're doing this and the reasoning and logic and what this is all about. Since 2007, March, when we started the master pattern, we've had many incredible economic calls, some that no other forecaster or predictor in the world have made. But the purpose of generating the master pattern report was to demonstrate the efficacy of the discovery of the master pattern. And the master pattern, for those of you who may not remember or may not have investigated our websites, was derived from the scientific structure of something that we call natural intelligence. And natural intelligence is the discovery of 13 innate intelligences that we all possess, some to lesser degrees, some to greater degrees. The finding of natural intelligence actually frees people to achieve their potential, to solve problems, and to understand themselves, others, and their environments on a much higher level. We're changing our approach here to helping others. We expect to do that by bringing an understanding of these intelligences to people, and by applying these intelligences to economics, politics, and personal situations as well, right? Again, the reason why we commenced on the master pattern, we thought at the time, we saw what was going on, what was coming about with the housing market and the stock market and the economy and whatnot. And we wanted to show people, don't forget, we were doing this when it wasn't fashionable, when everybody laughed at us, even though I had at that time 45 years in real estate. And I was telling all my colleagues and other professionals that we're in for a crash. And, in the meantime, people are bidding for homes and prices are going through the ceiling and whatnot. But no, we saw this coming, and we saw it coming through our application of what we call natural intelligences. And what we did was, since there is this science involving these intelligences that we've discovered, we hoped to impress people with the fact that this is something so powerful that you could even use it in economics, and yes, in governance, and in fostering greater governance, okay, and greater wealth. Well, it didn't. In some cases, it worked out, but it's not where we wanted to go. In many events, many times, I've been much too strident about my commentaries on governance in particular, and that's not what I'm about. And that's not what natural intelligence is. Natural intelligence is something that is so tremendously incredible that I feel that, and many of my colleagues feel, who are professional mind scientists, by the way, feel that it's something that will survive myself and our organization, our current organization, for years to come. And if that sounds self-serving, so be it. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to say is that we all have problems. What I have discovered, fortunately for me and my family and many of my colleagues, is that problems are gateways to excellence. Problems are ways that are natural for us to achieve higher levels of potential. And that's the way I believe, that's the path that I've followed, and it has treated me and my family and my partners and my colleagues very, very well. This is not something that some kook, old guy has come up with. There are many, as I said, many mind scientists that we're affiliated with that have helped us guide and create this concept to the point where it's comprehensive on a mundane level, right? And believe me, it's taken me 30 years to get to that point. But recently, as an example of what I'm talking about with natural intelligence, in fact, as recently as last night, I was out to dinner with some friends in Arizona, in Scottsdale, and the gentleman, George, who's a business consultant, said that, I think you need to upgrade this. You need to bring it to a higher level. You've got so much more to give, instead of just being critical of this and telling people about silver and the stock market and whatnot, and half of them don't even have the money to invest in it. What good is it? I mean, it sounds interesting and fascinating in a lot of places, and maybe you are helping some people, but you can be at a much higher level, a higher place in helping the world. And this was like the fourth message of this type that I received in, I would say, the last 5 weeks. Now, ordinarily that might be something that people would just, cast off as, sour grapes, or they're just trying to put you down, or, nonsense like that. But, you don't, when you're into natural intelligence, you don't look at things like that. You take the emotions out of the situation. You look at it very objectively. That's one of the factors of natural intelligence. This is a message, and I get it. All right, and I believe that this advice, criticism, whatever you may want to interpret, it doesn't matter. It's a change in direction that I think that I need to make, and I think it may help a lot more people in a lot more profounder ways. After all, making money is super, but you know what? There are principles involved in that that make you a much more complete person. I recently heard a comment that I thought was very, very, very significant and very appropriate for what I'm saying here. That golf, like life, is a game to be played, but can never be won. And you think about that. No matter how great you are at anything, uh, sooner or later that greatness leaves. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. You're only the president of the United States for 8 years. I don't care if you're a dictator. If you're a dictator, after a certain amount of time, you lose your power. You lose your influence. And if that doesn't happen, you die. And then there's no more meaning. But that's not what life is about. This is something, like I said, discovered with my colleagues, and we're going to post some of the validations and commentaries that these professionals have had on natural intelligence and how it's helped their lives on our drbobflower.com website, and we're going to make some adjustments to that with an offshoot of that website called the Achievement Forum. My point being that we have these intelligences. Nobody understands these intelligences like we do. You have heard of these, but you have never seen them in the context in which we're going to be delivering them. First off, they're all interconnected. They are individual, but they're all interconnected into different types of systems. And you're going to find answers to a lot of your life questions about, not only about yourself, but about life itself by virtue of this. And I would strongly suggest that you get to my books, buy these books. One or two of them are very hard to get through because they're almost technical manuals on how I discovered, not how I did it, but the content of potential, of achievement, by virtue of these intelligences, what they are and how they work, and how they're part of an overall system, okay? And in fact, their relationship to a higher power. Some people call it God. I call it a God force. So I think that we're making the right move here. Again, we will still broadcast the master pattern, but it'll be on a much less frequent basis, perhaps about once every week. Once every 4 or 5 weeks. And the Achievement Forum will be a new channel for us, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get a lot more out of it, and in a lot of ways, I know that this is something that people are really basically looking for, more so than anything else, because it does have the answers. And it's not that I'm going to give you the answers, but I guarantee you this: I'm going to give you the path to the answers. That you can rest assured, that you can take to the bank, that I will argue, contend, I will defend that to anyone, and I have over 30 years. So if you're somebody that wants to know yourself better, wants to achieve more, wants to understand your environment and others, wants to be better or the best that you can be, the Achievement Forum. This is Dr. Bob Flower, and I think that you guys are just superhuman beings, and I hope to be hearing from you real soon about this. We'll see you soon. By the way, we'll be back in New York next week, so we'll be broadcasting from New York. It's too damn cold out here, for Christ's sake. I think I'd rather be in the snow. Have a good week.